You can't talk about luxury cars without mentioning several Mercedes-Benz models. Everyone loves them for their looks, balance, comfort, and overall performance. And as good as they have been in the car-making business, they've also had their fair share of flops. That being said, I suggest you watch this video to the end to check out the worst Mercedes-Benz models of all time. What you need to know. For the sake of the newer generation, this video will focus on Mercedes-Benz models that have come out in the last 10 years. And while the German luxury car company has made some amazing cars during this period, some of them are best left alone. This comes as a surprise, since the company has been making cars for more than a century, and in that time, it has become one of the biggest luxury car brands and has left a legacy of innovation, elegance, and excellence. A Benz is every millionaire's dream car, as it has been widely driven by musicians, actors, politicians, wealthy entrepreneurs, and even royalty. Its many successful models show how dedicated it is to making driving better for its customers. And it's clear that the German car company has won the trust of its customers, as they have sold millions upon millions of units. Mercedes-Benz had a great decade in the 2010s. The S-Class got a stylish coupe model, and the G-Class switched to a fully digital interior. And in the same decade, cars like the elegant SLS AMG, the top-of-the-line AMG GT, and the fully electric EQC came out. But even though Mercedes-Benz has done a lot of great things in the automobile industry, some of its models just didn't work out. That being said, here are the top 10 worst Mercedes-Benz models. 10. 2015 C300. First on our list is the 2015 C300. And even though it was a better car than most of what other car makers had to offer, it simply did not meet up to Mercedes standards. The 2015 Mercedes-Benz C-Class models got bad press because they were recalled 13 times. But the C300 is the model that seems to have been hit the hardest. The C300 had 10 recalls, and the most recent one was due to its faulty roof panel, which could come off the car if the glue holding it together broke down. There was also a problem with the software, which made it hard to find the vehicle in an emergency. The same problem made it hard for the airbags to work right. There were also problems with the power steering system and the way the fuel delivery module was attached, which could start an unexpected fire. 9. 2014 E-Class. Next on our list is the 2014 E-Class, whose problems stemmed from oil leaks from the chain tensioner gasket, which could also start a fire. There was also a chance of a fire outbreak if the fuel line had a single flare fitting, instead of a double flare fitting, and fuel leaked out. Some units were called back because their power steering systems were broken, while others were called back because of a problem with the software that could cause the emergency call system not to work. Also, the airbags didn't always work in a crash, which sometimes made it more likely that someone would get hurt or die. 8. 2016 Sprinter. Even though it was fully equipped and had a lot of functionality, the 2016 Sprinter is on this list because of several complaints and recalls. The most recent recalls were due to the electronic stability control unit not working right. Also, the power steering assist could stop working without any warning. Some of them had drive shafts that could come loose and puncture the gas tank, while some of the labels gave wrong information about load capacity and tire pressure. It also had problems with seatbelt anchorage bolts, which were not tightened enough, as well as front airbag inflators that could blow up. 7. 2018 AMG GT. Even though the 2018 Mercedes AMG GT is fast and fun to drive, it had a total of 6 recalls, which is a bummer for a car that is so good. And this is one of the reasons it has landed in the number 7 position on our list. The first recall was in December 2017, and it was due to faulty passenger frontal airbag sensors and seatbelts that could stop working if they got stuck in the loops. In 2018, the driver's side airbag inflators and the airbag restraint control module in the AMG GT were also found to be broken. Last but not least, it regularly developed software problems that could give out wrong locations in the event of a crash or theft. 6. 2019 A-Class. Since it came out, the 2019 A-Class has been called back 10 times, and that's why it's number 6 on this list. The first time was because the brake pedal plate wasn't properly welded, and there was also a problem with the software in the display system, which caused the rear view camera to show a blank screen sometimes. The A-Class was also included in the 2021 recall because the software in the communication module didn't tell the e-call system where the car was when it crashed. It also had problems with rusted front axle carriers, fuel leaks between the fuel rail and the injectors, headlights that weren't set right, and AC drain hoses that weren't installed the right way. So we're halfway through the video, but we've got 5 more terrible Mercedes-Benz models to go through. Be shocked at the model that landed landed in the number 1 position. 5. 2017 E300. We wouldn't condemn the 2017 E-Class range as a whole, even though it had 20 recalls. However, we can't help but criticize the E300 as it was the worst of them all. It had problems like headlights, which couldn't be adjusted, and a transmission that didn't respond to gear changes. It could also lose a roof-mounted spoiler while driving. Other problems include broken airbags and passenger detection systems, broken seatbelt warning systems, and broken instrument clusters, which were all caused by software malfunctions. To add to that, the power steering could stop working unexpectedly, the wiring for the fuel pump could get damaged, and there was a chance of a fire if the starting current limiter got too hot. 4. 2017 GLC. The 2017 GLC was boring to look at and not very fun to drive. However, the real problems weren't discovered until later. It was one of the models recalled in 2017 because the starting current limiter could get too hot and the front seatbelt pretensioners could stop working in a crash. There was also an issue with the airbags, as they could go off without warning, and sunroof panels that could fall off and cause problems for the driver. Add all this to a broken e-call system and bad rear seatbelts, the GLC is one of Mercedes-Benz's biggest disappointments in recent years. 3. The S-Class 2018. At number 3, we have the 2018 S-Class, which comes as a huge surprise, given how luxurious this vehicle was. This particular model had a roof panel that could fall off without warning, and an e-call that could malfunction and give out the wrong location of the car in the event of a crash. Other problems include a seatbelt warning system that didn't work, wrong brake parts, and an idler gear that could come loose from the crankcase and damage the engine. Even the most expensive models, Maybachs, have had some of the 2018 S-Class lineup's 13 recalls. This includes recalls for malfunctions, such as oil plugs that leak, active steering assist that didn't work, a back door that didn't lock, and loose electrical power bars that could affect how other important parts of the car function. 2. The C-Class 2013. The 2013 Mercedes-Benz C-Class comes in at number 2, and it's really sad because this model had some really cool features. These include smooth handling and powerful engine options. However, one of the biggest criticisms of this model is its lack of adequate cargo space. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration also says that there have been a lot of complaints about this model, more than 400 actually, and that it has been recalled 7 times. Aside from frontal airbag inflators that could explode, most of the recalls were because of bad airbags that might not deploy properly in a crash, or might deploy on their own. Also, some of the model's fuel filter flanges could crack and leak fuel, all thanks to factory errors in production. This was a big concern as leaking fuel could cause a fire. 1. 2015 M-Class. Finally, we're at number 1, and this spot belongs to the 2015 M-Class. Modern GLE class cars are pretty good to drive and have great handling, but the 2015 version was pretty rough around the edges. And since this model has high total ownership costs, it would be more economical to choose a newer model. Oil leaks from the chain tensioner gasket could also start a fire and make the road dangerous for other drivers. On top of that, broken axle carrier bolts could make the car harder to control, and that could potentially lead to a crash. So guys, do you know any more Mercedes-Benz models that weren't worth the money? Kindly tell us in the comment section. And if you found this video interesting, then kindly give it a like and share so your friends can watch it too. One more thing, punch the subscribe and notification buttons so you'll know exactly when we upload another interesting video like this.